In 1784, a Swedish chemist crystallized a compound from lemon juice in a small town pharmacy. 2 years later, he was dead. That compound now sits in the baking aisle of your grocery store, costs roughly 10 cents per use, and can permanently dissolve every hard water stain on shower glass without scratching. 85% of American homes have hard water, and millions of homeowners still believe the damage is irreversible. The cleaning industry would rather sell you a $15 diluted bottle or a $400 replacement door than tell you what a $1 bag of this powder actually does. A plain white bag stamped citric acid sits quietly on the bottom shelf of the baking aisle. No fancy branding, no promises of miracles, just a barcode and a price tag, usually between $3 and $4 for a full pound. Most shoppers walk right by, never guessing that this is the same compound that has been breaking down mineral scale for 250 years. Pour out a single tablespoon, about 10 cents worth, and you are holding enough to erase months of cloudy buildup from an entire shower door. The math is almost laughable. A $3.50 bag covers 30 to 40 full treatments. That is less than the price of a single bottle of branded shower glass restorer, which might give you 4 or 5 uses before it runs out. Yet the packaging never mentions glass or hard water, or the fact that this powder can undo what homeowners have been told is permanent damage. Instead, it is lumped with canning salt and pectin, marketed for jam makers and home preservers. Meanwhile, the cleaning aisle is stacked with glossy bottles promising crystal clarity for $15 a pop, each one listing citric acid or citrate in the fine print, just diluted, perfumed, and marked up by a factor of 10 or more. For anyone staring through streaked, frosted glass, convinced that nothing short of replacement will bring back that showroom shine, the solution is hiding in plain sight. No heavy scrubbing, no risk of scratching the surface, no harsh fumes, just a scoop of powder dissolved in warm water, sprayed or wiped on the glass. The cost per session hovers around a dime, sometimes less, depending on the store. The only thing more astonishing than the chemistry is how quietly this answer has been buried at the back of the grocery shelf, while the industry profits from confusion and frustration. The bag is right there, no membership, no secret handshake, just a quiet, overlooked fix waiting to be picked up. In the summer of 1784, in a quiet Swedish town, a pharmacist named Carl Wilhelm Scheele stood over a battered workbench, squeezing lemon after lemon until his hands were raw. Scheele was not a university professor or a court scientist. He was a self-taught apothecary, more at home with glass jars and makeshift burners than with grand academic halls. Yet from his tiny pharmacy in Köping, he would pull off a feat that would ripple through centuries. He isolated pure citric acid, the very powder now hiding in plain sight at the bottom of the grocery shelf. Scheele's method was simple but ingenious. He poured fresh lemon juice into a flask, stirred in lime to form a chalky precipitate, then doused the mixture with sulfuric acid. As the solution cooled, fine crystals began to form, clear, sharp, and unmistakably new. In his notebook, he called it citric acid, naming it for the citrus fruit that gave up its secret. This was the first time anyone had pulled a pure organic acid from a natural source, a breakthrough that would eventually feed entire industries of food, medicine, and cleaning. Scheele's discovery did not make headlines or fortunes. He worked alone, often late into the night, and published his findings in brief, almost reluctant notes to the Swedish Academy. Fame was never his goal. In fact, he died just 2 years later at age 43, likely from chronic mercury poisoning, an occupational hazard for chemists of his era, especially those who, like Scheele, tasted their own experiments to identify new compounds. Yet, his crystallization in 1784 set off a quiet revolution. Citric acid, once coaxed from lemons in a provincial pharmacy, became a global commodity, now produced in million-ton quantities. But the same powder Scheele first held in his palm is still the active ingredient in most miracle glass cleaners today, just diluted, perfumed, and marked up for profit. The irony is this: while Scheele's name faded from household memory, the simple fix he uncovered has been sitting, overlooked and underpriced, on grocery shelves for nearly 2.5 centuries. Step into almost any American bathroom and you will find the same silent enemy: glass that once gleamed, now clouded by stubborn, chalky streaks. This is not rare. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, about 85% of homes in the country receive hard water laced with dissolved minerals like calcium and magnesium. Every time a shower runs, those minerals get left behind. Drop by drop, they dry into a thin, crystalline film that clings to the glass, scattering light and turning clear panels into frosted barriers. The transformation is not subtle. What starts as faint spotting creeps outward, layer by layer, until the surface looks permanently etched. Owners try everything: vinegar sprays, scrubbing pads, blue glass cleaner, but the haze only deepens and the glass feels rough under a fingertip. In the harsh glare of bathroom lights, the scale catches every streak, every fingerprint, every missed swipe of a towel. It is a quiet humiliation. The glass door that was supposed to signal cleanliness now looks like a lost cause. The numbers are staggering. With roughly 100 million households affected, the sheer scale of the problem feeds an entire industry. Hardware stores and online ads push $15 miracle sprays and $800 replacement doors, all promising to erase the damage. But the truth is, most of what people see is not true damage at all. It is just mineral scale clinging to the surface, not fused into the glass itself. The industry's silence on this point is deafening. Instead of teaching homeowners how to break the cycle, the market profits from confusion and resignation. Meanwhile, the actual fix sits ignored in the baking aisle, priced at less than $1 per treatment. No glossy label, no warning about hard water, no claim about restoring lost shine. Just a plain bag of powder with the power to erase years of buildup in minutes. The real risk is not ruined glass. It is millions of people paying for replacements and specialty cleaners they never needed in the first place. Every household cleaner claims a secret formula, but the real magic behind erasing hard water stains comes down to one overlooked fact. Citric acid is a triprotic acid. That means each molecule can donate not just 1, but 3 protons. Compare that to vinegar, acetic acid, which only gives up 1. When it comes to breaking down stubborn calcium carbonate, more protons mean more firepower per gram. This is not just theory. The core reaction is simple and relentless. Calcium carbonate plus 2 molecules of citric acid produces calcium citrate, carbon dioxide, and water. The fizz you see when the powder hits the scale is not just for show, it is carbon dioxide escaping as the mineral crust is dismantled at the molecular level. A materials scientist at a leading glass lab puts it plainly: citric acid's triple acidity and chelating action mean it outpaces vinegar and most commercial blends. It does not just loosen the scale, it binds the calcium so it cannot redeposit. The balanced equation says it all. Calcium carbonate plus 2 molecules of citric acid produces calcium citrate, carbon dioxide, and water. That is not marketing fluff, it is the chemistry behind every successful treatment. Unlike hydrochloric acid, which can etch or cloud glass, citric acid is gentle. The silica in your shower door shrugs it off, untouched, while the mineral film fizzes away. The chelation step matters. Once the calcium is grabbed by the citrate anion, it stays dissolved, never forming cloudy streaks again. That is why a single tablespoon in warm water can clear a whole door. No abrasives, no scratches, no risk of making things worse. For those who want proof, The carbon dioxide fizz test is the telltale sign. Sprinkle a bit of the solution on a chalky patch and watch for bubbles. If it fizzes, the scale is coming off. If not, the glass may be etched, not dirty. This is the diagnostic that commercial cleaners rarely mention because it strips away the mystery and the markup. The science is not buried in a patent or a trade secret. It is right there in the reaction, hiding in plain sight, waiting for anyone willing to look past the label and trust the chemistry. Walk into any hardware store or big box chain, and the glass cleaner aisle reads like a hall of mirrors, shiny bottles, bold promises, price tags that climb from $8 to $20 for a single spray. Flip one over, and there it is, buried in the ingredient list, citric acid, sometimes labeled citrate. But that same compound, in its pure, undiluted form, sits in the baking aisle for $1 or $2, enough to keep a family's shower doors spotless for years. The numbers do not lie. Manufacturers buy citric acid by the trainload at pennies per pound. They dilute it, perfume it, slap on a glossy label, and sell it back to homeowners for 100 times the price. The margin is staggering. A $3.50 bag of pure powder covers 30 to 40 full treatments, less than 10 cents per use. Meanwhile, a branded cleaner might last 4 or 5 sessions before it is empty, running $2 to $3 per cleaning. That's not a markup, that's a business model built on consumer amnesia. The profits do not stop at the cleaning aisle. Glaziers keep cost sheets that spell out the next step. If the stains will not budge, replacement glass is quoted at $400, $600, sometimes $800 installed. The truth is, most of these jobs are for glass that is not damaged at all, just coated in mineral film that citric acid would have wiped away for pennies. The industry has every reason to keep the solution quiet. If every homeowner knew to check ingredient panels or realized that a 10-cent scoop of powder could restore their glass, the market for miracle sprays and costly replacements would collapse overnight. The economic barrier is not chemistry, it is the silence that keeps a cheap, effective fix hidden in plain sight. Before reaching for any powder or spray bottle, there's a crucial step that separates a quick win from a wasted afternoon. Figuring out whether you are fighting removable mineral scale or permanent glass etching. Even the most powerful cleaner cannot restore what has already been lost from the glass itself. That is why conservators and seasoned glaziers rely on a simple diagnostic toolkit, no special equipment, just your own senses and a bit of water. Start with the fingernail test. Run a clean, dry fingernail gently across the cloudy area. If you feel roughness, tiny ridges, or a gritty drag, you are probably dealing with a mineral deposit. That is good news. These are surface bound and can be dissolved. If the glass feels perfectly smooth, almost slick, but still looks hazy, there is a chance the surface itself has been etched, microscopically pitted by years of exposure or by harsh abrasives. No acid, no matter how strong, can fill in those lost peaks and valleys. Next, try the water drop method. After cleaning a small test patch, place a single drop of water on the spot. If the drop beads up and rolls away cleanly, the surface is intact. If it spreads out, leaving a faint rainbow or a persistent haze, that is a telltale sign of fine etching. Iridescent micro-haze, especially visible in angled light, means the glass is scattering light from thousands of tiny pits, not just from stuck-on minerals. These tests take less than a minute, but can save hours of frustration and hundreds of dollars. Knowing the difference empowers you to act with confidence. If it is rough, you are green lit for the citric acid fix. If it is smooth but dull, no cleaner will bring back the original shine. The right diagnosis is the first step toward a real solution, not another round of disappointment. In a sun-baked Arizona suburb, a homeowner stands in front of a shower door so clouded it barely lets in the morning light. Years of hard water have left their mark, chalky, stubborn, and immune to every cleaner tried so far. But today, the fix isn't a $15 miracle bottle or a costly replacement quote. It's a plain bag of citric acid bought for less than $1 per treatment and a measuring spoon from the kitchen drawer. The process is almost too simple. 2 tablespoons of citric acid powder, about 30 grams, go into a cup of warm water. The powder dissolves with a quick swirl, forming a clear, slightly tangy solution. No gloves, no mask, no harsh fumes. The homeowner pours the mixture into a spray bottle and soaks the glass, making sure every inch of haze is wet. For the thickest patches, a paste is made, just enough water to turn the powder into a spreadable, creamy layer pressed directly onto the worst spots. Then the waiting game. 10 to 15 minutes for the spray, 20 to 30 minutes for the paste. The reaction is silent but relentless. Where the solution touches mineral crust, tiny bubbles appear, carbon dioxide escaping as the scale is dismantled molecule by molecule. There is no scrubbing, just a gentle wipe with a microfiber cloth. The glass, once rough and milky, now feels slick under the hand. Light pours through, clear as the day it was installed. The proof is right there. A single treatment, less than a dime in ingredients, and the glass is transformed. No scratches, no residue, no lingering smell. The only trace left behind is the memory of years wasted on overpriced bottles and empty promises. In the end, the only real secret was knowing where to look and trusting the chemistry that has been hiding in plain sight since 1784. Crystal clear glass is less about one big fix and more about steady habits. Once stains are gone, the real challenge is keeping them from coming back. A weekly spray with a tablespoon or 2 of citric acid dissolved in warm water stops mineral buildup before it starts. After the last shower of the week, mist the glass, wait a minute, then wipe with a squeegee or a microfiber cloth. This small step, costing just pennies, prevents the invisible film that would turn into next month's problem. For extra protection, a hydrophobic glass sealant, often sold as car windshield rain repellent, can be applied every few months. These coatings make water bead and roll off, leaving fewer places for minerals to stick. Most last at least 6 months before another quick coat is needed. Sealants only work if the glass is spotless first, so always apply right after a citric acid cleaning when the surface is bare. Some warnings are non-negotiable. Never use citric acid on marble, travertine, or limestone. These calcium-based stones react just like the stains. They will dissolve, leaving dull spots or permanent etching. Never mix acid with bleach. The reaction releases toxic chlorine gas. Stick to warm water and simple chemistry. Gloves are not required, but those with sensitive skin may prefer them. Citric acid is a low-hazard irritant with an LD 50 over 2 grams per kilogram in rats, far safer than mineral acids in toilet cleaners. Still, avoid eye contact, rinse thoroughly, and never soak metal fixtures for hours. A quick rinse after cleaning leaves glass clear and safe. A squeegee after every shower is the simplest defense. Combined with weekly citric acid and the occasional sealant, this routine keeps glass spotless for years. No harsh chemicals, no scratched surfaces, just a little science and caution. Right now, millions of homeowners throw away glass doors or pour money into branded cleaners, never knowing $1's worth of citric acid could erase years of stains in minutes. The industry profits from confusion, while the real chemistry sits quietly in your pantry. When you understand what's etched and what's just mineral, you hold the power. Sometimes a secret isn't hidden, it's just unprofitable to tell. Share your own results below.